Hi there. How y'all doing? All right. Thank y'all for turning out. There's a bigger crowd than I was expecting. Well, welcome to the panel. Legends Never Die, a MegaMan fan panel. The last couple of years, MegaMan has kind of come back into public focus with some of the games breaking sales records in their respective markets. And we've also recently had the MegaMan Battle Network Legacy Collection, which that's what I'm cosplaying from, the main character of that series. Not actually one of the MegaMen, but, you know, close enough.
Technically it is.
In the anime, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. About us, normally I have a friend here doing this with me, but he wasn't able to come this weekend, so it's just me. My handle is BladeCrossEXE. You can just call me Blade for short. Lifelong MegaMan fan, lifelong gamer, and I've made several great friends due to the series. And, you know, I love the series to death. My favorite series is Battle Network. My favorite actual MegaMan is X. And this is going on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. It's called Flashing Blades. We are a budding channel with over 5,000 subs now. We do just a bunch of general gaming content, a bunch of anime content as well. And the last couple of years, a lot of that has been MegaMan related, and that's where we got most of our audience from, truthfully. And we have a Discord server if you guys want to join up later. We'd love to have you there. And this is your reminder that this is going on YouTube. So there will be a Q&A at the end of the video if you want to participate. Just know this is your disclaimer. This will be posted on the internet. So,
mostly
fair
your
warning.
voice.
Yeah, mostly the voice. Fair warning. All right, so this is what we call the intro stage. Just a brief overview. We're going to have, this is our structure. We're going to have the premise, gameplay, other media. That's how we're going to cover each entry in the franchise here. All right, classic MegaMan. Of course, the art here is from the MegaMan Legacy Collection. Good stuff. This is where it all began, naturally. Released in 1987 for the Famicom, that's the Japanese equivalent of the NES, created by Keiji Inafune and Akira Kitamura. Base parts, it's basically, you battle through 8 robot masters in each game, and then you get their powers from each one you defeat, and then it's kind of a glorified rock, paper, scissors game in which one robot master's weapon will be effective against another. You go on down the chain, and then you eventually get to the final gauntlet of stages that pit you against really strong enemies and obstacles, and a lot of times you have to use said weapons to overcome them. Typically, the formula is 8 robot masters. In the first game, it was only 6. Yep, I just went over that part. Sorry, I forgot this snippet was next. Take the weapon for better matchups against the rest. Gain them all, extra hard stages of the final boss. Upgrades. As time went on, you did get new abilities in each game. The first game started off, your mobility was kind of limited. All you had was just run and jump, and you just had your basic buster shots, which just basically fires an energy bullet straight ahead. In Mega Man 3, for NES, they introduced sliding, which lets you get around faster, dodge enemy attacks, and slide under hard-to-reach spaces so you can grab an extra item or avoid certain enemy attacks, depending on the boss. And in Mega Man 4, they introduced the charge shot, which allows you to power up your buster like Samus and then just fire a big energy blast for extra damage. And then in Mega Man 2, they introduced what they call the items. You had item 1, item 2, item 3. They're basically just extra mobility items, like one's like a hoverboard, you fly across a room, one crawls up walls, and it lets you get around easier. This was replaced in Mega Man 3 with Rush, who is a little robot dog that is very marketable and can sell toys. And he basically serves all the functions that the previous items did. And that was the case for Mega Man 4, 5, and I want to say it was 6 as well. And then they also got other upgrades, like Mega Man could wear Rush as an armor, and he gained flight and additional powers and so on and so forth. Other media for classic Mega Man, we have several animated works, such as the anime OVA set Upon a Star, which does have an English dub. The Ruby Spears Mega Man cartoon from the 90s, where they Americanized him and made him a big buff superhero. And that cartoon is just loaded with 90s cheese, and the memes are plentiful. Fully Charged, which is a more recent CGI cartoon from 2017, and it got kind of a bad rep, but it's actually not even really that bad. Just don't compare it to classic Mega Man. Take it as its own thing, and it's a fun, enjoyable watch. There was a really popular fan film, I want to say it was around 2010. It was done live action. Some of the robot masters like Gutsman were done in CGI. And there's an upcoming official film, which as of right now, we still have no info for it, at least last time I looked. There are several comics and manga. Megamix is one of the most well-known manga, where it takes you through the story of most of the main games, and each of the robot masters has a very mechanical design to them. They have like panel lines, you can see like bolts and screws. certain characters like Metal Man, his primary weapon is a razor-sharp metal blade. You see in the character design that he has padded gloves so he doesn't cut himself on his own weapons. Things of that nature. The comic, those manga did get kind of dark in their storytelling, and they did adapt some games that we didn't actually get over here. Same with Archie Comics. It does delve into some darker storytelling that was a little bit deeper than the games, because again, this is the NES era, and it's not an RPG, so the story wasn't super deep. Archie Comics, same people who gave us those glorious Sonic comics, and Mega Man and Sonic also had a crossover. Most people know about that at this point. Several other smaller works that I don't have time to go into all of them right now. Mega Man Powered Up Remake for the PSP. It looks super adorable because the art style is like chibi. It's real cutesy. It looks like if Mega Man was in the Kirby world almost. But the gameplay is incredibly difficult, and it's definitely a contender to be held among the high ranks of the original classic series in terms of how much skill you need to beat the game. And, no, we don't talk about this guy. No, get him off there. For those who don't know, that is from the old cartoon from the 80s, Captain In the Game Master. They didn't know how to design their Nintendo characters for that show, and that's technically the first animated Mega Man that existed, as far as I'm aware. All right, then we have the sequel series, Mega Man X, first released in 1993. Brand new era, takes place roughly 100 years or so in the future. Originally released for the Super Famicom and Windows DOS, like Windows and DOS. Fun fact, even though you can get the Mega Man X on modern PCs, it's not the DOS version from back in the day. It's the basically a port of the Super Nintendo game in the Legacy Collection. I'm not exactly ready to call the DOS game lost media at this point, but I will call it abandonware. You can still go out and buy the CDs on eBay and stuff, but most modern computers won't be able to run it without a lot of finagling. The only major difference I know of is some certain keyboard inputs can give you cheat codes, and the music and sound effects sound different because it's more kind of like crunched down, like the sound effects and music sound different. But that's really the only major difference between them. Re-released in the X Collection on home console in 2006, and then re-released again in the Legacy Collection in 2018. The X Collection for GameCube, PS2, and I think it got released on original Xbox. It came with Mega Man X 1 through 6, and it also came with the only North American release of Mega Man Battle and Chase, which is basically Mega Man Mario Kart. Did have an English version in the PAL regions, but we didn't get that over here. And in 2018, they gave us the Legacy Collection, which was X 1 through 8. No bonus games, but you had the bonus game modes where you could do tag team boss fights, fighting 2 bosses at a time across different games. One thing I find kind of unforgivable in the Legacy Collection versus the previous releases, in Mega Man X5, the localized names for the Mavericks, that's what we call the bosses in this one, they were named after members of Guns N' Roses. In X5, you had characters like Grizzly Slash, Duff McWhalen, Axel the Red, he's like a flower robot, and then they changed all the names back when they relocalized it for the Legacy Collection, so no more Guns N' Roses references. It's a crime is what that is. The first 3 games were available on the Wii U eShop and the new 3DS Virtual Console. I actually meant to edit that out because those have since been shut down since the last time I did this panel. So if you had those back when it was accessible, you could get those. New 3DS only, not regular 3DS, but that's no longer legally available. So here we have X. This is the new Mega Man. This is the just one of the schematic scenes that we get from the SNES game. We're upping the specs this time. Being on a new console, it allowed for greater gameplay innovations as well as improving the graphics and the sounds. Now, because the console is capable of so much more, they could do a lot more with the stages. Instead of being just a typical, like, single screen style obstacle course side scroller like the originals were, now you can climb on walls. When you get armor upgrades, you can dash, you can air dash in certain games. Your mobility is sent through the roof, so they were able to expand the stages and enemy placement to compensate for that. Most of the bosses now, instead of being simply named man or woman for whatever the robot masters were, like Fireman, Iceman, Splash Woman, now they're mostly animal themed. There are some exceptions here or there, but all of the 8 main Mavericks you'll fight in almost every game, almost all of them are now animal-based, with some exceptions I mentioned earlier, Axel the Red and Optic Sunflower from X8. But due to the enhancements in the game and expanding the lore, we also were able to get some new upgrades, like new armors that Mega Man X could get across different games. This is one of the most iconic right here, Ultimate Armor as seen in Mega Man X4. The art right here is from the game MegaMan X Dive. This allows you to have improved durability. You could get a bigger HP bar. The helmet does different things depending on the game. More powerful buster cannon. Your leg upgrades will let you dash, will let you hover. It'll let you do a whole lot of things. Depending on the game, the upgrades are fantastic, and it can let you just really, really improve your gameplay experience. The story became a lot deeper, especially starting with X3 and onward. X4 is really when it picked up. So the original story for the classic series was effectively Mega Man versus Dr. Wily and his villains of the week. Just run through your rogues gallery of robot masters, defeat them, on to the next one. Not a ton of story other than Wily goes to jail in between games. This time, we get to delve into the ideas that robots have advanced to the point to where they have their own sentience and are effectively the same as humans in terms of how they process information and the fact that they actually have basically souls at this point. That leads to conflicts of ideals, and it becomes a man versus machine kind of war, and X and his friends, the Maverick Hunters, are trying to strike a balance so that everyone can live in everlasting peace. And we do get this. The biggest point of contention among this is brought up in X4 when we have the Rebel Force who want to secede from humanity and exist on their own. But, because we have to have a conflict in the game, the Maverick Hunters are sent after them, and they are kind of driven to extremist acts in order to try to maintain their independence. So we do get a very much more involved story with this, and we get our characters questioning, what are they fighting for? Whenever some of them, I'm glad y'all caught that, whenever some of their friends are inevitably killed in the crossfire. We also have some expanded media here as well. I know of two well-known manga here. We also have the OVA Day of Sigma, which is fully animated. It's roughly 20 minutes or so long. It was originally released on the Maverick Hunter PSP remake of the first game, then re-released in higher definition on the X Legacy Collection. We also have a few different comics here, Comic Bonbon and Irregular Hunter Rockman X. That's these two right here. This one right here, I believe this one was actually, this manga run right here is the reason that Keiji Inafune started demanding the story in the X series be more well involved so it could make a better adaptation. This one is from the X4 line, but it does cover the first 3 games as well. But there was a manga adaptation being made, and it impressed the creator, and he said, we're going to make our stories better so that y'all can adapt the manga better. And I just feel like that's kind of fantastic. I haven't had a chance to read this one yet, so I don't know how faithful it is. But it looks pretty good, at least.
Fair warning, that one that you're asking you haven't read yet, ballpark of a wild ride. Like, it is just non-canon, but also something, be very careful if you try and post it. Because there's some ballpark areas of stuff that is not kid-friendly at all.
Are you sure you're not confusing that with the New Adventures of Mega Man, that other Brazilian one?
I know that one from the fact. I know that one right there, and it does get a little wild. Like, honestly, that entire story is crazy. Someone, I forget who created it, but the situation in that entire story is like, there's 2 Mega Mans, and it's a funny story. It's a very funny story, but not kid-friendly.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. I think that's the Brazilian one. Or, like, there's another one that matches that as well. You got, like, Classic Mega Man and X at the same time.
I swear it was that one, though, because honestly, that's the one that I remember.
Yeah, New Adventures of Mega Man, that was what I was going to bring up next. He does appear in that. That one, it does get really off the rails, so you beat me to the punch on that a little bit. And then X did show up in the Archie comics. He did have a couple of issues to himself, but there was never a full X series in the Archie comics. It was just a subline of the Mega Man series from that. Maverick Hunter remake, I already talked about that briefly. It was 3D graphics, all the characters have voice acting now, and my personal favorite voice actor that X has ever had, Mark Gotha, also known as the voice of Domon Kashu from Mobile Fighter G Gundam. And for those who know G Gundam, you know that Domon's primary technique is Shining Finger. We get to watch X do Shining Finger in Day of Sigma, while being voiced by the same guy. That can't be coincidence. That had to be a reference, and no one can convince me otherwise. Technically not. Mega Man Zero. Yeah, this is basically the edgy phase of the franchise. It was a lot more violent, because in the Japanese versions of the games, and even a couple of the scenes in the English release, there's a lot more blood. than there was in the previous games. While in X4 we did get some blood in some of the cutscenes, it's robot blood, but it's still red. In the games, because you're using a sword in 0-3 especially, you slash an enemy, there's like a blood spray from it in the Japanese version, not as much in the English version. Zero is the main character here because though he appeared as a side character in Mega Man X, he became a fan favorite, took on a life of his own, and originally he actually was intended to be the new Mega Man of the franchise. Originally, Inafune didn't want to just do, oh hey, another Mega Man. He wanted to have, his own character take over the reins. And put simply, Mega Man ZX is Mega Man meets Power Rangers, but we'll cover that here in a sec. It's a very streamlined version of the Mega Man X engine. There's still a lot of dashing and wall jumping, but you no longer get the impressive armor upgrades, so a lot of the items that you need to get are more in reach. So, for example, like, you know how you're playing a game like a Metroidvania or something? It's like, hey, there's an item over there I need to get. I can't get there because I don't have the hover boots or whatever. Not a lot of that in the Mega Man Zero series. Significantly less. No more boss weapons either. It's been a staple throughout the entire series up to this point where you defeat a boss, you gain their signature weapon, and can use it for yourself. Even Zero could do that to an extent in the X series. It was more like you'd learn a new saber technique, but you don't get that anymore. The best you get is if you defeat an enemy of a certain element, you'll gain that elemental chip, and you can apply it to your weapons. Now my sword has fire or lightning, or my buster can shoot ice bullets, etc. It's a dystopian future, and Mega Man is the evil dictator. I should have put quotation marks on that. Plot spoilers, I'll let you play the games to figure out that part. But
I have played them.
Yes. Then when we get to Mega Man ZX, suddenly everyone is Mega Man. I really need another slide to dedicate to ZX because it does have its own identity separate from Zero. Effectively, in the Mega Man ZX series, which is another 100-year time skip from Mega Man Zero, which in and of itself is a 100-year time skip from X, there are these things called biometals. And people who are able to use biometals are called Mega Men, at least in the English translation. And I said it's basically Mega Man Power Rangers because it basically acts like the Power Rangers morpher, and the person applies it, and then they get an armor based on whoever the character in question is. It's a rudimentary, but I feel like effective comparison here. Yes?
But I've played the games, and I do know Steel for Mega Man Zero was the one that made Bioman.
Correct.
And I think in meet the girl that played the Zero game, that little girl was holding the...
Yeah, she becomes the commander of the New Resistance. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I haven't finished ZX yet.
I'm old.
Other media. There was a Mega Man Zero manga, and it was not well received for very good reason. There's also a ZX manga, which I have not heard as many people talk about one way or another. No anime adaptation this time, but I feel like this is a series that is ripe for it. If we were to ever get like a Mega Man Zero anime, it would be fantastic. So yeah, check out this ZX manga. Just don't look at this one. Just throw it in the trash. Just forget it. Mega Man Legends, Whole New World, originally released December 1997 for PlayStation, later ported to the Nintendo 64. So if you ever see Mega Man 64, same game, is just on a different console with slightly different controls. Now for something completely different. Legends of Zelda. I mean, you're walking around dungeons, you're opening treasure chests, you're finding hidden items in holes in the walls. You got a giant crystal right here that looks kind of like a rupee. The thing is, though, Mega Man Legends actually... go back. How do I... There we go. Load for me. I don't know why it's stuck. It's not loading the next part of the slide.
Oh, there's a virus in the PowerPoint.
What do you mean unresponsive? All right. Try that again. What? All right. Yeah. Yeah. Got hotspots work. There we go. All right. Okay. There were three mainline games for Mega Man Legends. There was Legends 1, Legends 2, and then there was the Misadventures of Tron Bonne, which she's one of the main side characters. and that game is ludicrously expensive. The best way to get these is to break out your PS3, connect it to the PSN store while it's still operational, because Lord knows when it could go offline. Buy the games, they're like less than $10 a piece, because trying to find physical copies, good luck. Now, we made the joke about Legends of Zelda. Mega Man Legends actually predates Ocarina of Time by about 11 months. Because Mega Man Legends came out in December of 97, Ocarina of Time came out in November of 98.
That's why I was hoping you were about to say that.
Yes.
Because I knew this man had to know the truth on that.
Yes, we joke, but of course the Mega Man 64 for N64 did come out after Ocarina, so that's why a lot of people could say, oh, it looks like Mega Man copied it, but no, get education. So there was a manhwa from Taiwan, and it actually does get kind of ridiculous. This right here is a scene from later in the story when Mega Man is fighting a giant airship. In the game, you're flying on an airship and just having to shoot at it with your buster. In this manhwa, he pulls out his blade arm, which is like a lightsaber attachment, and just cuts it to pieces like Virgil. It's fantastic. There's another scene where he's fighting this really huge robot. He gets a drill arm, punches holes in it, fires explosive mines inside of it, and it just blows up from the inside. And I'm like, you can't do this in the games. Why not? So if we ever do get Legends 3, I want it to play like this. I want to be able to actually do crazy stuff like this.
Did you ever see the original release video of what they were working on towards 3?
I did see bits of it, but it's been a very long time, so I don't remember a lot of it off the top of my head. There was also an educational game, which I don't know a lot about, and there was also a couple of mobile games. There was a golf game and another mobile game called Big Adventure on 5 Islands, I believe was the name of it. But again, these were not released in the United States, and the mobile games were released for Japanese dumb phones. So it wasn't even like a smartphone like you got nowadays, and you download it like that. It was a flip phone. And, you know, Japan gets all the cool stuff.
The Galapagos phones, I call them.
Yes.
Because they just had their own ways of doing things. Right. And of course, you can also mention, of course, Mega Man Legends 3 was once in production before Inafune decided to leave, and they decided
to make Mighty Number 9 instead. Yeah, Inafune left and decided to make Mighty Number 9 instead. Still waiting on Red Ash, by the way.
It's never going to happen.
We know.
Right. My number 9 is not.
It's called sarcasm.
Try like a
Mega Man, technically aren't they all .exe? That little joke's supposed to be that robots are machines with onboard computers. They would need like an execution program to start them up. So, Cyber Chase meets Yu-Gi-Oh! It takes place inside a digital world, and you basically use a card battle system, which, don't know if y'all can see that, but got a couple of these on me because they're part of my costume. They're called battle chips. You take the terminal, it's called a PET or PET, depending on what you read. You take the battle chip, you plug it in, and now Mega Man's got a new weapon. Very simple. The future of yesterday is now. So this game was made back in the early 2000s, like 2001 is when the first game released, and a lot of the stuff that seemed futuristic at the time, like, you know, having a little smart AI companion in a portable device that fits in your pocket that you can plug him into a computer or a TV or something, that's today. PETs are basically smartphones. You got like AI assistants and all that. You can Bluetooth connect your phone to your computer or your TV or what have you. All of your electronic appliances now, you can have computers that connect to the internet on your refrigerators. So yeah, Battle Network kind of predicted the future, and that future is today. Yeah, released in 2001 for Game Boy. Despite it having .exe in the name, it's not a creepypasta. Sonic needs to get out of here with that. New formula of all come to know and love. And here's how it works because it's all new. Like I said, battle chips. No longer do you get weapons from bosses like in the classic games. Now, your buster is a very weak weapon unless you have a specific Navi customizer build to make your buster insanely powerful. Now, primarily, you're going to be using battle chips here. And you get new battle chips every turn. Despite this being an RPG, it's not traditionally turn-based, like something like Final Fantasy. It's not just, oh, I choose attack, I hit the enemy, they hit me. No, you move around on this little 3x3 grid here, and you plug in your battle chips when the custom screen opens. That's what this gauge up here is for. You gotta wait roughly 10 seconds real time. It'll open, you can select up to 5 chips, and you plug them in, and you just go to town. There's a cannon he's using right here, just fire straight ahead. Kind of hit scan, it's got a delay on its firing. And you can stack 3 or more battle chips together, if there are certain types, to create new weapons that are called program advances. Combine 3 specific swords, you get a giant sword that will take out the first 2 rows of the enemy's screen. You combine 3 of the thrown bomb type weapons, you throw it and it lands right here, the entire area explodes. It's really, really in-depth, and there's actually a very big esports scene for this game series that's still active to this day. Funnily enough, despite the Legacy Collection getting released, the collection isn't what bolstered the esports scene. They're still going at it with like emulators that are more network capable, because finding a match on legitimate means is still kind of hard to do nowadays. Various figures across various lines. Battle Network is huge in Japan. Like, it is still going strong, and they've been getting like new merch. Basically, it's been non-stop even since the original days. Interactive merch. This is a little LCD PET toy game. This is a later model. The commercial for this is complete lies, by the way. If any of you saw that back in the day, nah, it's nothing like how they describe. There's at least 2 manga, one of which was simply called MegaMan NT Warrior by Ryotaka Misaki. Ran for 13 main compiled volumes with a bunch of side issues, and it was really great. This one is part of another series called Battle Story Rockman EXE, which has not gotten an English translation yet, but it was released in a few other countries, including France. So there's French volumes out there if any of you read French. They put a whole lot of care into this anime. While Mega Man had some stumblings in its first animated premieres, like the Ruby Spears Mega Man with its overabundance of 90s cheese and Americanization, and then of course the Captain N one that looks like Bobby Hill plus Larry Boy, they put a ton of effort into the Rockman EXE version of the anime, or called in English, Mega Man NT Warrior. Loosely adapted the games, it took some major plot points from different points in the games and ran them together. Sometimes they would rearrange them, sometimes they fight an enemy from the first games way later. Cross-fusion and dimensional areas are 2 concepts that are exclusive to the anime. He was mentioning earlier that this character is technically a Mega Man. I made the Power Rangers joke earlier. It's even more true in this one. Cross-fusion, main character here takes his PET and what's called a synchro chip, plugs it in, he turns into Mega Man to fight enemies in the real world. But again, only inside a dimensional area. That was only used for... Actually, no, that was introduced like halfway through and kept going for a while. It ripped off Digimon, I'm sorry to say. Hey, don't get me wrong, I love Digimon. I love it to death. But I mean, look at that. This one especially. Alpha, the D-Reaper, you can't tell me that that's not real.
No, not the same. Not the same.
These might be a stretch, but this one down here, no. And this is actually kind of proof right here. The developers mentioned that while they were working on Rockman EXE, they did go watch Digimon the movie in theaters. So we have confirmation on this guy's Twitter page right here. Anyway, the sequel series, Mega Man Star Force. Well, can't really say they didn't aim high with this one. They go to space this time. And Mega Man's been in space before. It's a direct sequel to the Battle Network series. It was released in 2006 for the DS. And it took advantage of the DS console capabilities quite well, I would say, most of the time. Some of the touchscreen gimmicks did get a little annoying when you had to, like, you'd encounter an overworld obstacle, you had to, like, draw a certain pattern in a certain time limit, but that's neither here nor there. This is how the combat system worked. Now, instead of being side to side, it's third-person over-the-shoulder perspective, and you have battle cards instead of battle chips, but it's still the same basic concept. What's different is that in the first 2 games, you could not do program advances by combining 3 or more, but instead, you got what's called a best combo. If you happen to have a really good chain of combo, like a chain of cards that did a lot of damage, you could save it as a best combo and then turn it into a one-time use card and just dish out a ton of damage in one fell swoop. This time it's not the internet, but instead it's electromagnetic waves. I don't think I actually mentioned that in the Battle Network portion of this. I wasn't well prepared for this. I wasn't expecting to actually get selected this time. But winding it back a little bit, it's called EXE because it takes place inside a computer. Like, Mega Man's not a robot in this one. It takes place inside a cyber world, like a digital world. Again, that's why I said it kind of ripped off Digimon with that. Remind me to edit that in the slideshow if I ever use this again. So this time, it's not the internet, but it's electromagnetic waves. I have no clue how that's supposed to work in the real world because we've had radio waves around for a very long time and the internet's more advanced than that. But for the sake of the story and world build, waves are more advanced than the internet now.
In the story in this one, they also explained that ancient, like old stuff that
Yes.
actually gave off radio waves did actually affect them, and that's why the enemies appeared a long time ago too.
Yeah, in Star Force 2. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. I guess it's in this universe, radio waves are more powerful than the internet. They just weren't able to harness them until that time. The enemies are mostly based on constellations. A lot of the bosses we have this time around, instead of being, insert descriptor and then man or woman, like instead of Guts Man, Fireman, what have you, now we have enemies based on constellations and star structures. Like we have Cancer Bubble, who is a crab enemy. We have Gemini Thunder, who is a two-bodied enemy with electric powers. We have Taurus Fire, who is this really, really big flaming bull. We have the final boss of the first game is called Andromeda, and so on and so forth. And peak character design in this series right here. Does not get enough love. Star Force needs a revisit, and hopefully you will get a collection soon because the Battle Network collection sold incredibly well, and this is the immediate follow-up. Yeah, they actually tried with this anime too. They actually put in effort. However, this anime was not related to the Battle Network anime at all.
Actually, I have to preface this correction. They actually were slightly connected because this actually took place about roughly 40 years after that, and the situation with those two is that yes, they did actually have a connecting point where they did actually connect.
Now, I know that
they actually branched off in timeline, but because the way they worked, they still actually reconnect back because you actually had EXE reconnect with the Mega Man of the Star Wars.
Now, I know that's true in the games, but is that true for the anime as well?
Yes, it is. It is because they still in several episodes through this one, they did kind of make some offhand remarks relating to that, relating to the EXE universe of such. What about AI? Essentially having some offhanded talks, and all of a sudden, what about a Mega Man that could potentially be an AI? They had offhanded remarks like that. And most people don't remember these because it was like they're making little quips here and little remarks there, but they did actually mention it. But that was in the anime itself that they actually did. But in the games and in the books, they did actually make massive connections, stating that, oh yeah, this was branching universes, but they do connect.
Yeah.
They were connected.
Yeah. I definitely remember that from the games because there was a full-blown crossover mission in at least the first two. I don't remember in the anime specifically, but I'll have to double-check on that. Was it in the English version or just the Japanese?
I swear it was in both. I would have to go back and rewatch just to remember, but
Right.
But most of the time in the Star Force, they only made like a very few offhanded remarks onto that. To
Right.
actually mention that they were essentially connected.
Right. Oh, whoops. The anime only went up through Mega Man Star Force 2. And the tragic part about this is that though we did get an English dub for part of it, it only went up through the first half of the first series. And it was canceled, I want to say it was due to a writer's strike that was happening around that time. If that wasn't the direct cause, then it's just very unfortunate timing that that was the case. But we basically got the first half of the Star Force anime dubbed, and the rest of it Japanese only. And again, the second series only went up through Mega Man Star Force 2. And it's called Ryusei no Rockman Tribe. Because in the Japanese version it's called Ryusei no Rockman, which translates to Shooting Star Rockman, if I'm correct. This one also had a manga, which I haven't read it yet, but based on the art, it goes incredibly hard. Various crossovers throughout the years. X-Dive, which is a big, glorious, gotcha hell crossover game, but it's now offline, so you can just...
I cry every day at that.
What, the gotcha's offline?
Yes.
Nowadays, you can actually just go to Steam and just buy the game for one base price. It's like $20, goes on sale quite frequently, and you can unlock all the characters legitimately without having to roll the gacha, but they are lacking some of the crossover and special events, like without the use of mods, there's no longer the Monster Hunter or Devil May Cry armors for X and Zero like there were in the mobile version of the game. Battle Network also did a crossover with a little-known Konami game called Boktai, which is a solar-powered vampire hunting game. It's a game for the Game Boy Advance, and you literally use a solar sensor to pick up real sunlight and use in-game. And I swear that most North American Boktai fans are only Boktai fans because of Battle Network. It's rare to find someone who knew about the game separately. Operate Shooting Star is a remake of the first game in the Battle Network series, brought to the Nintendo DS, and it's given a Mega Man Star Force crossover mission. Project Cross Zone is a whole lot of companies get together, throw the characters in one big adventure, and it does feature characters from the Mega Man X series and Legends. We also get Trombone. Marvel vs. Capcom and other fighting games like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Plenty of references in Dead Rising and Street Fighter, and other miscellaneous crossovers with Duel Masters, Metabots, Dragon Poker, Exoprimal at one point. I'm still waiting on a Digimon crossover because, like, Battle Network and Digimon needs to happen. They both crossed over with Metabots before, so why not? Fan games, there's plenty of them. One of the most well-known ones is Battle Network Chrono X, which is very good, and I feel like they're on the verge of releasing another new demo here soon. They've been working on it for over 10 years, and it's very well put together. Mega Man Unlimited is another fan game. I haven't had the chance to play this one yet. Star Force Endwave, again, another fan game. Mega Man Maker, it's basically Mario Maker but Mega Man. And we did get a little bit of this officially with Mega Man Powered Up when it was still live on the servers, but PSP servers are shut down now, so you can't submit new levels from that. Numerous ROM hacks and mods. Some of the newer fan games that have gained a bit more traction since we first made this panel was Mega Man X Innocent Impulse and Mega Man X Corrupted. Haven't played either of those yet. Oh, there's also a really popular Mega Man X8 16-bit demake, where they basically took the 3D game X8, made it look like an SNES game. That's the one that I'm most excited to play because I love Super Nintendo.
I'm pretty sure I know someone who knows the creator of Corrupted.
That's fantastic.
But I don't remember. It's one of the popular things. I can't remember.
I knew Bugtide. I had no clue about the Mega Man.
Really?
Yes, I thought the Solar Sensor was really neat.
Yeah, it is. In the first Boktai game didn't have the crossover. It was Boktai 2 that got it. And then you unlock Mega Man SideQuest as a post-game option.
Well, I'm one of your rare ones. There you go, you've met one.
Fantastic.
As a treat.
Yes. Recent updates, because again, we made this panel like 2 or 3 years ago and haven't used it since. Mobile game preservation. I mentioned earlier that there were some mobile games that were exclusively available in Japan. Multiple games have been translated and are now playable in English through the use of emulators. These include 2 Mega Man Battle Network games called Phantom of the Network and Legend of the Network, Rockman Dash or Mega Man Legends, Adventures on 5 Islands, Rockman Tennis. These are just some of the examples, but there's been a big group out there who is like putting in all the effort to preserve these games and make them available for those who weren't able to play them back in the day. Now, because these were not officially released, I can't tell you to go out and look them up, but what you do out here, outside this room, is beyond my control. More manga has been released. Ryo Takamasaki has released new issues of his manga in the following years, like after his manga had its initial run. We also got a new chapter at the end of it called 20-Year Reunion, which kind of picks up where Battle Network 6 left off. There have been a few new issues since then, but they have not been translated. Some officially translated manga that are coming out right now, they've been in Japan for a while, but are now getting English translations. It was called Rockman-san and Rockman-kun, but they're localized as Mr. Mega Man and Little Mega Man. Secret Level. There was an anthology series on Amazon called Secret Level, and Mega Man got a little short episode in that as well. Not going to go into a lot of spoilers for now, but it makes me want a full-length series and movie with the content we got in that. Hopes for the future. Well, Marvel vs. Capcom got a re-release when no one thought that was going to happen. That features Mega Man, and it shows that Capcom is willing to go back to some of their older franchises. We had record-breaking sales for the Battle Network Legacy Collection, with it topping out at 1.6 million units sold. And as of the last couple of weeks, Mega Man 11 has sold over 2 million units worldwide. So we as Mega Man fans and just people on this YouTube channel, we have hopes for the future that we'll get new collections and hopefully newer games. And we really want Legends 3. I actually have, I don't know if you call it blind hope, but I have some hope that has a little bit of foundation. A lot of the people who worked on Battle Network also worked on Legends. The Battle Network collection was great, especially when compared to how the release around it went. When the X collection released, there was a lot of compatibility issues with, certain computers. Couldn't run it, and there was little to no technical support for that. But there was a ton of hype around the Battle Network Legacy Collection, and with all the new features they brought in that were originally cut content from the Japanese version or the e-reader cards that were extra peripherals, it's all included in the game. They put in a ton of effort for it. So if the same team is able to work on one of their other series, maybe we could see a Legends Legacy Collection. And if that sells well, Legends 3 sometime in the foreseeable future, maybe? Yes.
Hey, on the topic of Legends, just to make sure, you said outside of the original discs and cartridges, the only way to play that right now is through like one of the PlayStation networks right now?
Legally speaking, yes. PlayStation 3. Not PS4, PS3.
Okay. Yeah, have you heard anything about them potentially doing a re-release or anything like that? By
No.
chance?
Nothing official yet, but that's why I've been saying. Same team worked on Battle Network, worked on Legends. If they have any kind of sway with Capcom at all, hopefully we can get a re-release, if not a flat-out continuation.
Okay. Yeah, the only way I played Legends was someone had like their N64 copy of
Yeah.
college.
Yeah. And, yep, that's it. That's all I got for today. That's our YouTube channel URL, and that's our Discord server URL if you'd like to get in on that. And let me check. Was the panel supposed to go to 6:30? Is that the time slot I have?
Yeah.
All right. I got about 15-20 minutes until my time is up, so if you like, we can do a little Q&A. If anyone's got any questions or comments. Yes?
Your thoughts on Mega Man Soccer?
I like Super Nintendo. I'm not much of a sports games guy, and I feel like it's cute, and I do like seeing Mega Man in pretty much anything, but it's not one of my favorites. I'm sorry.
I get it.
Yes.
What is one of your favorites, or what's the first one you started with?
Mega Man X on Super Nintendo. That's where it all started for me. I mentioned it earlier. Battle Network may be my favorite series overall, but X is my favorite Mega Man. Favorite in the Battle Network series is Battle Network 2, because Battle Network 1 had a lot of good going for it, but also a lot of jank. Battle Network 2 perfected it. And just went on and onward to bigger and better things. Yes?
In the section where you included fan media, have you thought about including the fan music that's been produced throughout the years?
I'm not super well versed. I know the Proto Man exists.
And the Megas.
Yes, I've heard of them. I don't know if I've heard any of their tracks. Yeah, I can bring that up. Most of the fan mashups that I hear, or not mashups per se, but like fan works in the music that I hear are just like remixes or this game's music done in this game's art style, lyrical covers like... yes, there's a couple of really good lyrical covers of the song Cannonball by Mythos on YouTube right now. There's like 2 or 3 of them that I can recommend. Man on the Internet's a really good one. And there's another one that I also like, but I can't remember who posted it at the moment. I saw this hand up.
Yeah, speaking of fan works, can I quickly plug something I'm in?
Sure.
So the Mega Man VR chat roleplay community, I don't know what sorry, the collective is what we're called. We stream our roleplays a lot. If you're interested in some horrible, really just bad improv of Mega Man characters in just random scenarios, all kinds of different universes, we stream every now and again.
Right.
What's the channel?
Yeah, what was the channel's name again?
Hold on, I have to remember what
Right.
the full name is. It's really long.
Well, while they look that up, one of my friends who runs another channel, they do a lot of Mega Man content as well. His name is Gavin Dragon. He asked that I give him a shout out for this. We collab sometimes. You can find some of our videos on my channel, collabs we've done together. His name is Gavin Dragon. He does a lot of Mega Man stuff. He's gotten back into streaming recently, so if you want to see some more Mega Man content, then you can give him a follow as well.
Okay, on Twitch, we are MMVRCC.
FMVRCC.
MMVRCC.
MMVRCC. Got it, yes. And I saw your hand
I'm
up
just
over here.
stretching.
The gentleman behind you. You had your hand up a second ago? No? Oh, sorry. Yes.
Team Proto Man or Team Colonel?
For story's sake, Team Colonel. For fun gameplay, Team Proto Man. I'm sorry, search Chaos OP. Yes.
Besides Mega Man X, who is your favorite Mega Man character? Like, besides one of the Mega Mans?
If we're not counting people who carry the moniker of Mega Man, Vile from Maverick Hunter has like always been one of my favorites. When he got introduced in, or when I played as him in Command Mission, Axel's another one of my favorites. Bit annoying in X7, but Command Mission was spectacular. I love Axel.
Command Mission is great. Love Command
Oh yes, we absolutely need a command mission too. And one thing I was talking about other collections earlier, a lot of these games that are just kind of on the wayside don't really have enough to warrant their own collection for full retail sale. Like Legends has 2 numbered titles and then Misadventures of Tron Bonne. So I was thinking, what if Capcom did like Mega Man Side Stories collection, like Mega Man Gaiden or Mega Man Expanded collection, and they gave us like Command Mission, Legends 1 and 2, Misadventures of Tron Bonne, and then the 3D Battle Network game Network Transmission, like Mega Man 3D Adventures collection, and just
do all the AUs in one.
yeah, all the side stuff just in one go. Mega Man and Base also needs to be released. That game gets a lot of hate, but I feel like that was actually one of the better classic games, me personally. Yes, way in the back.
How do you feel about them when they added Mega Man for Super Smash Bros?
I will refer to the public premiere of his Final Smash where that one announcer is just going nuts and singing the Mega Man Battle. Yes, where he's just shouting the 90s Mega Man theme song. That is exactly what my reaction was. To this day, even after all the new reveals we've gotten with new Smash characters, I still say Mega Man was the most hype. The only one that's come close to me has been Sephiroth's reveal for Smash Ultimate. That was got a special place in my heart, but Mega Man still, the presentation of all that, and the Wily theme remix from Smash Bros, top tier.
And the Mii skins.
Yeah, and the Mii Fighter skins too. I main the Mii Fighters so I can play as Mega Man X and Zero. Yes, Tanjiro.
What's your opinion on the Star Force games?
I have recently gone back into replaying them, and it's kind of unhinged at times. I recently got to this one part where you need to incapacitate this person in order to basically raid their phone, raid their transer, and like the alien that's hanging out with you is like, knock him out. Okay, how? There's a pitching machine over there. Just launches a baseball like a ballistic missile, knocks him unconscious, raids his transer to see what he's up to, deletes all of his personal info, and I'm like, are we sure we're the good guys in this one?
Plug your channel, the iceberg.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
The Discord link is not loading.
I need to update that. Okay, anyone interested in joining the Discord? Apparently that link isn't working at the moment. Anyone interested, meet up with me after the panel is over, and I'll get you a fresh URL to use. As far as gameplay is concerned, I am liking my revisit of Star Force. I do miss some things from the Battle Network series. I miss the program advances, but best combos are pretty stellar. And I actually feel like a lot of the story elements from Star Force went unappreciated back in the day, but a lot of the themes around like Geo's progression from coping with his depression and loss and learning to open himself up to people again, that's actually way more relevant, or not relevant per se, but it's more touched on in media nowadays, so it's more accessible to modern audiences nowadays than it was back in the day, just based on how the mindset of a lot of people were when it comes to video games and all that. I will say, X-Play G4, they rarely ever have a good take on a Mega Man game. Most of their reviews, including the ones for the Star Force Battle Network games, were dog water. Like, back in the day, no. The people don't need to be talking about games. Just a little personal event right there. Oh, right. Pull it up on the computer? Or?
Yeah, take it over. That way they can see better.
She's trying to get a working link for this. Do I need to just open it on Messenger or what?
Just open up your WordPad and type it in so they can see it on the screen.
It's not. I don't see a text on here.
Yes, in orange.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. One moment. Let's see. No. I'll get a URL for you guys to use after we're done here. So. All right, anybody else got any other questions or conversation points?
Favorite stage music from X1?
Oh, okay. It's a three-way toss. No, four-way toss-up here. the Destroyed Highway stage, Spark Mandrill, Storm Eagle, Flame Mammoth. All 4 of them, absolute bang. Oh, Boomer Coanger too. All of them are great, but it's hard for me to pick just one. A single one, I think it's probably gonna... cheap answer, I gotta go Spark Mandrill. Like, you ever watched the Terminal Montage, Something About series? You ever seen those? There's this person who does animations for various games. It's called Something About This Game. They did one for Mega Man X, and we get a Guitar Hero battle between X and Spark Mandrill because of how awesome the stage music is. It's fantastic. Kind of surprised he didn't do any of the other games yet. He's just done the first X game. Anybody else? All right. Well, if no one else has any more questions or comments, then thank you all for coming, and I will see you guys around the con, I guess. If you'd like to join the Discord server, I'm going to make a URL for you guys to use. Just meet up with me or my wife afterward, and we'll get you guys in. Thank you for coming. Special thanks to all Patreon supporters, including Mark Hastings,